Good afternoon, good evening. This hour change. Robert T. Green, CEO, pre-post game. It's 4:38 on Sunday, March 11, 2018. I'm doing a test right now. I got some issues when it comes to my actual live stream. So again, if you guys are watching, you see that it's skipping, please let me know. Again, I'm working on a few things pertaining to podcasts coming forward on Wednesdays on the African American Athlete Radio Talk Show with host Ricky Hampton. We're going to be doing a podcast with him pertaining to sports business and sports business analysts at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday. For more information, you can check it out. Go follow him at AFAM Athlete on Facebook Live. And then, like I said, turn your notifications. You'll be able to see what's going on today. If this video is not skipping, I'm going to talk a little bit about NFL free agency from an NFL veteran perspective. Tie that into the CBA, which changed in 2011. When it changed, it pretty much set up to tell the veterans that they would basically be compensated more money because they're the ones that put the league in the place where it is today to generate so much revenue. However, you see things, guys such as Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett, to name a couple, it's the complete opposite. The actual reality is that guys that have been Pro Bowlers, potential Hall of Famers, are now being released, prior to finishing out their last contracts, and now they're actually going to other teams, help other teams sell tickets and basically finish their careers off in other places. So essentially, that's what's going on from there. So again, how you doing, Mr. Carey? Mrs. Hare, if you guys can see this video, if it's skipping, let me know. If it's not, can you please give me a thumbs up, let me know, and I'll continue to go from there. And then we'll see what we can do. So again, it's a test. For those who don't know, I live in Virginia, the Virginia area, close to the water. So a lot of times, depending on the weather, it's disrupt my whole entire internet. So I don't do a lot of podcasts or posts for me. I do a lot from my vehicle or from my office. But essentially, I think it comes to a point where now I need to, thanks, Mr. Carey, I appreciate that. I need to start doing some more educational podcasts, specifically when sports come up. A lot of people look at things such as the TV shows like First Take or First Things First, and I think this call those two out. Will Kane, doesn't matter. A lot of this stuff is based off of opinionated things. It's not factual. And a lot of times, these athletes and these families actually only have that resource to watch, change into what's really going on in their own best interest. And that's where we have an issue. It's kind of why pre-post game was put together in the first place. So this is backtrack again. I'm Robert T. Green, the CEO of pre-post game. I'm also known as a players rep. And I'm simply here to educate and empower, protect the athletes and the family's best interests alone. What essentially that means is that everybody in this industry, for the most part, that can't shoot, can't throw a basketball, can't throw a 95-an-hour basketball. There are people that literally are making a lot of money off of the opportunity what those kids can do. And again, the reality is a lot of their families aren't even basically reaping the benefits of what those mothers who had those kids in their bellies for 9 months or spent thousands of dollars of traveling across the country pertaining to certain camps and providing food for those kids. An 8th grader who's 300 plus pounds is being fed by the mother only to have the NCAA rules and models set up say, hey, you can't get any type of impermissible benefit for your son, but we can. In 2018, you can't believe that some of these things are going on right now. Literally continue to be what it is. So before I go to the next piece, I'm going to talk about terms such as fully and fully guaranteed and guaranteed pertaining to contracts for the NFL. Yesterday, Adam Schefter reported Michael Evans signed a 5-year, $82 million contract with $55 million guaranteed. What most athletes and families don't understand is two things in particular you need to understand is taxes, for one, and two, pretty much state income tax and also a tax where you may be living at. And then when you come to the NFL players, you get taxed at every state that you go into. So essentially, that's the next thing that goes into that. But secondly, when you talk about guarantees, fully and guaranteed, two separate scenarios. The fact of the matter is that if guys had problems off the field, whether it's drinking, getting high, you name it, coming to work late, inside those contracts, a lot of things are stipulated where those guarantees can be lost. So fully guaranteed versus guaranteed, completely different. So when you hit $82 million, and I like to use Von Miller as a reference, Von Miller's contract a few years back was 6 years, $114 million, with $39 million over the first 2 years. So when Von Miller turned down that contract, which again had to go through his agency to Von Miller, and whether the team wanted to recognize or admit it or not, leaked it to the media that Von Miller turned down that contract. Many people started screaming up and down, who do these football players think they are? And essentially, like I said, the 114 million, which his agency will be contracted or paid off of as the number 114, Von Miller was only going to receive 39 million over the first 2 years. That was guaranteed from there. Now, mind you, Von Miller had already had 15 sacks, Super Bowl MVP, had no real issues off the field. He was a great ambassador for the actual league in itself. He basically was really fun loving, and he was a positive role model. Did a lot of things to bring awareness to the game and also to the community for these actual youth. That's what NFL, that's what sports is all about, selling tickets and recruiting. But what people didn't realize is that when Von Miller said that he wasn't going to play, less than 2 weeks later, Von Miller got another contract, the same contract, 6 years, $114 million. The difference is Von Miller's now guaranteed was $70 million. Now, again, if you know about the salary cap in particular right now from a franchise tag, top-rated defensive pass rush ends make $17 million a year. That's what the going rate is. That's the market. It's a business. So the reality is, you think about it, 2 weeks prior to Von Miller, 6 years, $114 million with $39 million guaranteed, or 2 weeks later, Von Miller, 6 years, $114 million with $70 million guaranteed. Which would you rather have? Again, in sports, a lot of things can happen. Two things. One, injury happens all the time, injury risk. Players are always asked to take all the risk and not get none of the reward. And the reality is, again, they'll come back to you. The team will come back next year and say, hey, we want to be able to sign this guy, this guy, this guy. Only in sports business where if you go to your job tomorrow and you're getting a check by Friday, if somebody else gets hired, you're not really worried about somebody that they hired replacing you in most cases. But in sports, it's completely different. The NFL, all sports, all professional levels are looking for cheaper labor. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a draft coming up in the month of April. Nobody's dying, and use the term draft. So every year there's a monetary value to take 255 minutes drafted, plus probably another 140 from free agents. That means it's about 140 guys that's going out. So it goes back to the free agency piece where I talk about how the CBA in 2011 was set up, where Sam Bradford was the last quarterback to basically generate the rookie wage scale money, where he got $50 million in guarantees. Sam Bradford's career literally started off at the St. Louis Rams, which is now Los Angeles, and then now he was at the Eagles, and then he got traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Last year, Mr. Bradford got injured again. The following year, Cam Newton, under the new CBA, had a 4-year, $22.5 million contract. Mr. Newton was an MVP of the league. He also played in the Super Bowl. So for a guy, again, who was the year before, Sam Bradford, the last guy to be able to get that rookie money, has made more money than Cam Newton, who is an MVP of the league and also been in the Super Bowl. So again, the way the NFL tried to put it out there was, we're going to take care of the veterans. But as of right now, we're looking at 100 veterans almost as off out of a team right now. For example, you got Richard Sherman, who just re-signed with the San Francisco 49ers, a rival, but Mr. Sherman is potentially an NFL Hall of Famer, a Pro Bowler. Same time, the team that he played for essentially said that they want to move on because you make too much money. Michael Bennett, guys like Danny Amendola, Malcolm Butler. The list goes on and on and on. So the reality is, at the end of the day, you told them that they will be getting their money. You said because you're the guys that basically put the league in the position to be what it's in. And yet now you turn around and saying that they're making too much money and trying to basically move on with these guys. So again, at the end of the day, sports is not a game. Sports is all business. This is why pre-post game was created, to basically put you guys put the players and the families in the best situation possible. There's a lot of people from the coaching realm, the endorsement realm, the sneakers, you name it, all different areas that's making money off of decisions that these athletes make and represent themselves really, really well. So again, professionally and also from a perspective wise, I understand those that are in the business to do what they got to do to feed their family. You know what I ask you, the coaches, or some of those other people, to take our perspective. I understand what corporate America consists of and what it needs to what needs to happen in corporate America. This is why I, in particular, have not, joined that side, if you will. Like I said, everybody else has their own well wishes being taken care of through unions or whatever it may be. But the players, however, and their families are not being needs are not being addressed. Talk about the NCAA and business. Sports is not a game; it's all business. And the NCAA is a thing called NLI, National Letter of Intent. When a young man, no matter where he comes from, whether it's from an urban area, rural area, no matter the level of education that he has or lack thereof, you are asked to sign an agreement to support their product. And then their product says that they can basically commit you to 4 years to represent or work for them. But essentially, they're only going to take a 1 year commitment for you. So essentially meaning they can move on from you for whatever reason it may be. And then secondarily, if you once you get there and then what they told you wasn't true, you have to sit out and wait a year, if you will, as your clock ticks, where the coaches, if you will, can leave at any time and any day and also make millions by doing it. And even so, we know literally there are coaches that when they get you to come to schools, by getting you to come to that school is what's getting them paid to go somewhere else. There's 700 schools in Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA, and JUCO, and it's a little more than that. But the reality is, again, out of those 700 schools, any coach that says that, hey, I'm coaching at Livingstone College, respectfully, whatever. I don't want to disrespect anybody's university. I get upset. But the fact of the matter is, out of those 700 schools, there's at least 650 coaches that are trying to utilize that kid and what he does on that field to get the better job for him and his family. But yet, again, when the kid does the same thing, coaches or people try to use them and call them quitters or things of that nature. And I think it's unfair. I think it's unjust. And I think it's about time that people start to really check themselves at the door. Because, again, without those kids, those cheesy fries that's being sold next week when March Madness starts, nobody's coming into those establishments to watch, to eat those fries. They're coming to watch those kids on TV. And, again, if you take those kids off of that TV, that changes the dynamic of a lot of businesses all the way around, construction workers, vendors, beer, ticket sales, marketing, you name it, advertising. Without them, there is no product. And so, again, it's about time that they start being compensated and respected as such, especially their families. So this whole thing about impermissible benefits, when you know that they're getting impermissible benefits from the actual people that are recruiting them, it's again, it's not going to work. So that's the thing about NFL free agency and also from NFL veterans perspective. So at the end of the day, for those veterans that literally are still hoping to get signed with a new team, we wish you well. For those that are looking for transition succession planning, you can contact us at prepostgame.com. That's what we help you do on and off the field to evaluate what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. You're more than an athlete. And at the end of the day, ensure that you're going to be supported long-term, not just what you did as an athlete, but as a person. We're here to do that as well. So I thank you guys for taking the time. Again, I don't think it skipped too much. So if it didn't, again, for more information, check us out at prepostgame.com. You can also hashtag the Players Rep and the Players Rep 1, or follow the Players Rep 1 at Instagram, at Twitter, and you also can check us out at the Players Rep 1 on Facebook. So look forward to seeing you guys Wednesday at the African American Athlete Radio Talk Show. Again, hosted by Ricky Hampton, AFAM Athlete at Facebook. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you. God bless.